Okay, so I think I'll show you the process of making a couple of YakMags. YakMag is a product that I developed less than a year ago, and it simply secures your hook while you're fishing, while you're going out to acquire different tackle and such. Um, and I'll show you I'll show you how I make one, and then I'll explain to you in a little bit what it actually does. So, in order to make it, I had to make this machine right here. And this is a plastic injection machine. I'm currently using HDPE, which is high density polyethylene. Lots of stuff are made out of that. Matter of fact, kayaks are made out of it. Um, so I had to build this machine. I used an old press, and I got my hands on a pneumatic cylinder. This is hooked up to my air compressor. Got to cut a few pieces on my lathe. Made a hopper. Connected a heater to it. I have a control system over here that maintains the temperature. It's just a little bit over 400 degrees. Keep the plastic melted. Um, Machine device that I mounted on here, and then I had to make the die, okay, which is this guy right here. I'm not sure if you can see that or not, but I've made several of these. This is the one that I ended up with. It makes 2 YakMags at a time. It has these pins in it that allow me to change what type of mounting hardware I want to use on the YakMag. I'm basically going to stick with this. It uses a 60-degree angle, so we can use flush mount screws and bolts. Okay. And this particular die right in here is the diameter of the magnets that I use, so I could snap the magnet into the into the mold when it's completed, or into the product when it's completed. Let's put it together. All right. It gets mounted in the vise. The hopper fits right down into the die. Now I need to modify the vise because I need to get a little bit higher, because the amount of pressure that this thing presses down on actually will separate the die at the top, and you'll get a bad product. So I just use these C clips right now, or C clamps right now, until I get an opportunity to modify that device. Now it has a 2-switch system on it, so that if you want to inject some plastic, you can't do it with one hand. So another hand will not be in the way of the press coming down, because it does press down at 600 psi, and it's 400 degrees in there, so you can get hurt. So it requires 2 hands to press the buttons on either side. I'll do that right now. It'll actually push the cylinder down into the hopper. I'll let it hold for maybe 10 or 15 seconds so the plastic cures once it's in the mold, and then we'll take it out and show you that. Here we go. So all the plastic is injected now, and I'm just holding it and holding the pressure on it until it just cures a little bit, so that we get a good good product out of it. All right, that should do it. So let's open up the device. Let's take the die out. Let's open up the die here, and there you go. So the plastic is injected in the mold right here, and now we have to get it out of there. So these independent dies that I have for the holes in the YakMag, they go all the way through the back here, so I can just punch them out. And let me a little bit here. I think you'll be able to see it. So I just basically tap them out. They're not in there tight. Just tap them back and forth a little bit. I'm going to make a little device here so I can just tap them all at once. And that's it. There we go. It comes out like this. Okay. So there's 2 YakMags on here. The gate holds some of the foreign material, because I'll explain to you what I use for material on this, but you can see this dark color in here, and the gate kind of grabs that because I want to minimize that from going into the final product. I mean, it doesn't affect it. It doesn't affect the quality of it, but it's just a matter of looks. So once that's done, I need to take these pins out, and they pop right out like that, and I put them right back in the die again. so that I could do another one. Okay. So these guys here, I can make different designs. This, like I said, this one here is made with a 60-degree taper. I can make it flat, so I can use a flush screw. I can, whatever I want to do, but this is the design that I felt works the best. Okay. So we'll put the die back together again. Put it back in the vise. Clamp it down. Let's move it over a little bit. Be able to see it better. Clamp it down. And do it again. And it's all injected now, so we'll just let it sit there for a few seconds until it cures. Camera moved there a little bit. All right. And that's it. So the second one's done. All right. Let me show you something. The final product looks like this. All right. It has a magnet that's snapped into the recess for it. It's a neo magnet, triple nickel coated or nickel plated. It doesn't rust. I have one here that's put together. The screws recess in the YakMag, so they can be bolted from behind, or there's actual screws that can actually screw into, and they'll hold on that. I also started to develop double-sided tape. Some people don't like to put, screws in their kayak. Most kayak fishermen don't have a problem with it. They have so many accessories on there. It's not a big deal. But basically, like I said, you're out there fishing, you're moving around all the time. The hook goes flying around. It ends up getting caught on your shirt or your seat or your arm, and this guy just simply secures the hook while you're doing whatever else you need to do, and that's it. Now, it is a strong magnet. It is a neo magnet, so it can hold pliers, let's say. It could hold, this probably weighs 5 or 6 ounces at least. Okay. There's a wrench here. I think it'll hold this wrench. Barely. Yeah, it holds it. Okay. I wouldn't recommend using that, but it just shows you the strength of the actual magnet. Okay. Now, what do I use for material? I use a gallon jug. Okay. This is HDPE. You'll see it on the triangle there, number 2. This product, HDPE, is used everywhere. Okay, so I decided to use this because we use a lot of these for water, for distilled water, for making coffee and such. And so I found out that I can actually make about 10 of these with one jug, which is about 20. I can make almost as many as 22, like maybe a little bit more, but basically 20 I can make out of one jug. I cut them up into little pieces like this. All right, and they go in the hopper in the press. And they get melted down. So for every 20 of these or 22 of these that I make, it keeps a gallon jug out of the landfill, which I'm kind of happy about that too. So, and it's good stuff. I mean, I have these out there. I have them put out there in the sun. I've had them out there for like 9 months now. They look the same way they did when I made it. I've actually soaked them in salt water for 3 months. No rust, no cracking of the plastic, nothing. I mean, it's good stuff. So anyway, I wanted to show you that. I sell them on eBay, Amazon, Etsy, and I do some fishing shows, which I get the opportunity to show people what it is, and once I get an opportunity to explain it, they're like, oh, that's pretty cool. So hopefully it fills a need. All right. Thank you very much for watching.